So this movie was doomed from the start. It's one of those movies where one character is taking up another character's mantle, and I don't ever really remember that working out because one character wants to carve their own path if possible, do it different, maybe even do it better, but inevitably they kind of live in the other person's shadow. In this case, it's Steve Rogers, one of the pillars of the MCU, and he did this. Yeah, you're not going to get anybody to fill that spot easily. Enter Falcon. I'm just going to do a spoiler review because I assume all of you have probably already seen either the movie or a review of it, and I just don't think you guys care that much. Just a disclaimer, I'm not one of those people who thinks this movie was terrible and it's horrible and it's the worst thing ever. There are some things that I really liked about this movie. I think people online are just a little bit too upset that the black Captain America failed, if you know what I mean.
It not only turns its hero into a magical...
So Sam Wilson starts his first journey taking up the mantle of Captain America since we last saw him in the TV show The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I thought The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was okay. I really actually enjoyed seeing Sam kind of struggle with carrying the stars and stripes on his back as Captain America, while historically America has not been that great to black people. This is where I think they get the concept of a black Captain America wrong though, because I feel like if there was a real Captain America, like a real black man who took on the stars and stripes and protected his country, you would have a lot of black people kind of coming out and saying that he's a sellout, or that like, how are you gonna still support a country who historically has done you wrong? And I think that's interesting, and I think they should have used that with this Captain America to show that, you know, there's a struggle there, there's tension there. I think for this version of Captain America, it would be really interesting to see black Americans kind of challenge him or push him or even hate him for being Captain America, and having to see him kind of deal with that. Growing up as a black American, you have this double bind and you kind of have to choose which way you want to go, but you have this double bind where you love your country and you love where you came from, but at the same time you have this anxiety and this paranoia about the ripples of the past. Are things happening because of what happened in the past? You have that anxious energy. And to play with that and put that in a movie, I think would really be interesting. So at the beginning, you have black people looking at him as a sellout, but through the end of the movie, there's kind of a character arc where they start to come around and they start to like the idea of a black Captain America, not only for just black people, but for everybody. So you can literally have a black person say to him, "So you're really gonna carry those stars and stripes, huh? After you know what they did to us, you're gonna still carry that on your back. You're a sellout, man." And then you have Sam Wilson, he could be like, "No, it's bigger than just black people. You have to choose if you want to hold on to hate today or if you want to let it go for a bigger tomorrow." I don't know, some corny shit like that, but you get it. The idea is there, right? It's a missed opportunity for them to talk about moving towards the future without the past holding you back. And to a certain degree, this is literally what Black Panther did so well, because it dealt with the question, since slavery happened, doesn't that mean we could just be bitter and do the same thing to everybody else? No, Killmonger, it doesn't mean that. Like, even Isaiah in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier mentions that those stars and stripes don't mean nothing or whatever. Let's have more of that. Let's explore that. But I digress. So anyway, new Captain America and Falcon team up to go discover some adamantium in the ocean that was left over from the Eternals, and they want to do it before Japan gets it. They run into some villains, including this brain guy, Juan Carlo Esposito's Sidewinder character. Throughout this whole process, Sam Wilson kind of goes into an espionage and tries to uncover some government secrets, and it ends with the Red Hulk. So first, some things that I actually really liked. I thought a lot of the fight sequences were cool. Even dealing with a character like Falcon with those big goofy ass wings, they still somehow made it cool. Cooler than I expected, at least. And I like Anthony Mackie. I just think the screenplay was all over the place, so he didn't really have enough to work with. I think the movie is not trying to really say anything because they don't want to piss off anybody, because they already pissed off the right and they don't want to piss off whatever fans that they have left. So the movie just doesn't say anything. So that kind of rolls me into the things that I didn't like. So let's start with the new Falcon. For some reason, the new Falcon has wings and they both just seem to fly, which I thought at the end of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he should have just taken the serum, passed down the wings to the new Falcon, and then in this movie we see how he kind of navigates those new powers. And he could have different powers to make him different from the Steve Rogers Captain America or whatever. And I just thought like he needs to take that super serum because we're in a world of like superheroes. We want to see people who take the super soldier serum and do amazing things. And Iron Man and a few others were like one of the only people who didn't have any superpowers. So that kind of made Iron Man unique in that. And I think they're trying to set Sam up to be the next kind of Iron Man, which they shouldn't do that. And with Falcon, with the new Falcon being Mexican, it's clear that this is like a DEI thing. They didn't choose like a white person on purpose. It's clear that like, what does that mean? Like he's next up. It's just weird how they do this stuff because it's like they're like who says who is more important? Like first it's a white person, then it's a black person, then it's a Mexican. Like it's just weird to me that they're kind of ranking the races on the importance of America or something like that. It's weird. I don't really like it. And there's this thing out there that's like, you know, people need turns. There hasn't been like a black Cinderella, so we need her. It's our turn. There is no such thing as turns. It's nobody's turn. I think that those characters being there serve as inspiration for more creative people to come along and get inspired by those characters and kind of make their own. Like a black woman that sees maybe a Cinderella type person wants to make her own and is inspired by that. I think it just does us a disservice in the future and with creativity of wanting to like create our own characters. I also didn't like Red Hulk. I think Red Hulk would be way more interesting fighting actual Hulk. And if they're gonna have the Red Hulk in there, then Sam Wilson needs to take that super soldier serum and fight the Red Hulk and get his ass whooped like hard. And then he does that like, okay, calm down type of thing or whatever that he did at the end of the movie. But with him not taking it, it just doesn't feel that realistic. Like a person could survive all that stuff. Even though he does have all this Wakanda tech and stuff, it still doesn't feel realistic. It would make the Red Hulk a bigger threat to show him beating Sam, and it would also show Sam that he has a lot of work to do in order to become Captain America. And then later on you could pay that off because failures in this sense are good in these type of movies when you have a cinematic universe, because you could always pay it off in the future. Like he learns some more stuff, he becomes stronger, and he gets his own payoff. Overall, I just think they were trying to push out something halfway decent just to make a quick buck. I think if they really cared about the first black Captain America, we wouldn't have gotten this result. I feel bad for Anthony Mackie and the screenplay that he had to deal with, and it just goes to show that these kind of bigger studios are just casting, you know, black directors, black writers, and they don't have a personal investment in the character that they're telling the story about. In my opinion, for Anthony Mackie, it was just a lose-lose because he's living in the shadow of Steve Rogers and he has a bad screenplay. So I think it's just all bad for him. But anyway, if you listen to me this long, you're an absolute lunatic. Sorry about the title also. I know it's kind of clickbaity, but I had to get new people to watch this channel. So if you liked this video, leave a like, comment down below to help me with the algorithm. And with that, I'm out.